Trigger warning. Ghosts, ghouls, and gruesome stuff ahead. It's weird, it's dark, it's your kind of vibe.
Welcome to Haunted and Homicidal, the podcast where true crime meets the paranormal. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Courtney. Every week we uncover the terrifying, the twisted, and the totally unexplainable. Lock your doors and grab your sage.
Because things are about to get haunted and homicidal. Hey guys, welcome back.
What's up?
I know Monday's episode was a little rough. Pazuzu Algarad is a piece of shit.
His mother made my eye twitch.
Yeah, it's rough. So we're gonna take it a little bit lighter. Well, as far as like murder lighter, because this is our paranormal week. So
Paranormal spooky day.
yeah, we're gonna kind of stay on topic of demons and stuff for this week. Kind of like have a little theme. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it.
So I'm doing the Conjuring House.
Ooh.
I'm so excited for the new movie.
There's a new movie coming out?
Yeah, the one day before my birthday.
Oh, really? So it's soon.
September 5th.
Okay.
It's the last movie, too.
How many are there?
I don't know, but it's the last one that the chick and the dude who played Ed and Lorraine, it's the last movie that they're doing.
I still have strong opinions about Ed and Lorraine Warren, but okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's the last movie that they're gonna have like them in it.
Okay.
So the Conjuring House is an authentic colonial era estate that was built in 1736.
Old.
And it's inspired one of the scariest horror movies of all time.
Oh no. Super scary.
Super scary. And it's in Harrisville, Rhode Island, deep in the quiet countryside, and it sits on 8.5 acres.
Okay, not as much as the Bell Witch house cave thing, but
Yeah, not with like 310
yeah.
acres.
Yeah.
That's a lot of land.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So the land that the house stands on was first deeded in 1680.
Oh wow.
I just spit. And surveyed by John Smith, one of Virginia's early colonists. And then it later became part of the Rhode Island colony founded by Roger Williams, a man who believed in religious freedom and the separation of church and state.
Okay, I'm with him on that for sure.
The land belonged to the Richardson family, followers of Roger Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They settled here after he was banished from the Massachusetts Bay Colony for challenging the government and demanding more rights for the people.
Okay.
The original estate was relatively large. The best way to preserve the land was to deed parcels, which means parts of the land,
Okay, yeah.
to those who chose to follow him and his teachings. He had more than 1,000 acres to split up, so he sold parcels to families in the area, some of which still have great-great-grandchildren living in the area.
Oh wow, okay.
And then women, of course, did not have rights to own property at this time.
Right.
So their estate was transferred through marriage from the first colonists, the Richardson family, and later landed in the Arnold family.
Yeah, I think women only got the right to own property in like the 50s. It's been recent. It's not.
Yeah.
It's been recent.
Yeah. So the house stands just as it did in 1736. It has weathered coastal storms, witnessed the signing of the Declaration of Independence,
Wow.
and survived the devastating hurricane of 1938 that destroyed many nearby homes.
But not that one.
Not that one.
Okay.
It stood through the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and the rise of industry in America.
Wow, that's like a big part of history right there.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And as the official Conjuring House website says, 8 generations of one extended family had lived and died in it, and apparently some of them have never left or visit it with some frequency.
Okay.
Because the historical chronicles of the time were dispersed or what was recorded was not salvaged, it is impossible to know the fullest extent of its past. But one thing is known, the house speaks to these who know how to listen.
Okay.
History has a story to tell. We will never know all of it, some of which has been lost to the annals of time. But one thing is certain, there are a few places like it which remain intact on the planet, and it should be protected and defended at all costs.
Yeah, I mean that's old, a very old home that went through a lot of shit. Like for sure, protect that.
And then, so before the house was purchased by its current owners in 2019.
Oh, recently.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay.
It was owned by the most well-known family regarding the home's history, the Perrins.
Okay.
Which
like
is
the Worcestershire sauce Perrins, Liam Perrins, Worcestershire sauce.
no.
Oh, okay.
So this is gonna be who the Conjuring is after.
Oh, I mean, like, okay.
Yes, this is the family that they based the movie off of.
Okay, gotcha.
And note, they did not film the movie at the actual house.
Okay.
So that's why it looks different in the movie.
Okay.
So Andrea Perrin, the oldest daughter, captured the tribulations of the family in a trilogy of books under the title House of Darkness, House of Light.
Okay.
And I read, and they had kind of like a little they had one of them when I Googled it, and you could like read a little of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was confused as fuck.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how the heck I was like, I don't know what the heck was going on.
Okay.
I stopped reading it. I was like, I don't know.
no.
I'm like, I don't know.
Brain cannot compute.
Yeah, because like how she worded things and what she was saying, I was like, what?
And this was who that wrote it?
The oldest daughter of the family.
Okay.
So Carolyn and Roger Perrin lived at the house with their 5 daughters during the 1970s.
Okay. So, okay.
Almost immediately, small but strange events started to happen, and it wasn't long before those events escalated tremendously.
Okay.
And one of the first reports came from Carolyn herself. She stated that she always noticed the broom disappearing as if one of her children was hiding it, but they promised and pleaded with her that it wasn't them. She also began to notice small piles of dirt in a freshly swept kitchen.
That would piss me off. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, she got mad. She was like, I just swept this damn kitchen.
I would be pissed.
The kids also began to report seeing apparitions around this time.
Okay.
It was all harmless at first. They started to see shadows in the corners, hear footsteps, and watch as their bedroom doors opened a bit on their own. And then it started to shift to something more sinister.
Okay.
The girls reported their beds would shake at 5:15 every morning, and Roger Perrin reported a cold and stinking presence behind him at any time he entered the basement.
Stinking?
Yes, like stinky.
Ew.
Yes.
Oh, that's usually indicative of a demon, like sulfur, eggs, or whatever. Did it say what the smell was, or just that it stunk?
Other members of the Perrin family also reported the smells of rotting flesh throughout the home.
Demon. Okay.
And in the Perrin's versions of events, at least a dozen mysterious deaths occurred on the property, including the murders of an infant and child, a suicide in the attic, and multiple drownings in a nearby creek.
Was this while they owned the house? Or was this like prior to?
This was all like prior to.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, like, how did people die while in the house that they own? Like, did the people just come there and?
Yeah, no. Apparently, they said this was all prior to.
Okay.
But
yeah, makes sense.
I'll explain some of them later.
Okay.
Within a few months of moving in, Carolyn reached out to paranormal investigators. One group, which included a psychic medium, claims to have witnessed a variety. I have a hard time saying this word. I don't know why.
Variety.
Yes.
Okay.
Phenomena.
You can say phenomena, but you can't say variety.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why. I have issues, okay?
Okay.
Including objects moving on their own, unexplained noises, and strange odors.
Okay.
They also claim to have communicated with several spirits, including a child named Manny and an older woman with a demented spirit.
Oh.
But that's the only time they mentioned Manny. Like, you never know who Manny is.
Okay. So who had the experience with Manny? Just a random person? Okay.
It's just what the psychic medium group said.
Oh, the psychic medium. Okay.
Yeah, the paranormal group, they said they met a child named Manny, but that's like the only time you hear Manny.
Okay, so like nobody else that has experienced this house ever had any kind of communication? Okay.
No, not with Manny. Other researchers at that time found no evidence of a haunting and observed nothing unusual.
Okay.
Roger reportedly never experienced anything otherworldly in the house and would often ask Andrea to refrain from speaking of her experiences.
Who is Andrea again?
The oldest daughter.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't. Roger, like, so, like, in the movie, like, because even in the movie, like, Roger didn't experience anything until later.
Yeah.
Which is what happened, like, with him in real life. Like, he never experienced anything until, like, later.
Okay, and he just told us all, like, shut the fuck up. People are going to think we're crazy.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So, one spirit in the home was also portrayed in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, she was just as angry in real life as shown in the movie.
Okay.
Andrea stated that her mother believed a female demon was behind the mysterious deaths and directed the other spirits.
Okay. Like a puppet master?
Yes. In an interview, she noted whoever the spirit was, she perceived herself to be mistress of the house, and she resented the competition my mother posed for that position.
Okay. Well, like, one of us is alive, one of us isn't, so who's
Yeah.
got the real power here?
She is said to be responsible for throwing objects, slamming doors, and shattering glass. One night, Carolyn was sitting in the living room when she felt a sharp pain in her leg. She looked down only to find blood trickling from a small wound, almost as if someone had stabbed her with a large needle.
What the fuck?
So then they decided to bring in Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Ed Warren was a self-taught and self-professed demonologist, author, and lecturer. Lorraine professed to be clairvoyant and a light trance medium. And in 1952, they established the New England Society for Psychic Research, NESPR.
Nesper. Okay.
In 1970, just prior to meeting the parents, the couple had attracted attention by publicizing a strange case involving a Raggedy Ann doll supposedly possessed by a demonic spirit.
Annabelle.
Creepy little doll.
Yeah, I don't know why they use the Annabelle that they do in the movies.
I know, I'm so mad. I'm like, that's not a Raggedy Ann doll.
No, I had Raggedy Ann dolls too. Thankfully, I didn't know about Annabelle when I had them because I'd probably be fucking traumatized. But
I guess because it's a movie to make it more creepy, they used like a
I mean,
creepy
that doll is way more creepy than a Raggedy Ann doll. But also, I think maybe because Raggedy Ann is branded
Yeah.
and maybe by like Hasbro or whatever, they don't want that attachment with the movies. Like they probably had to
I mean, it's probably kind of already branded.
well I know, but they probably, the people who made the movie, the producers, probably reached out to whoever created Raggedy Ann and asked, you know, hey, can we use the likeness? And they said no.
Yeah.
Most likely. And that's probably probably why they didn't use.
Yeah. And then in 1971, they made multiple trips to investigate at Carolyn's urging. They claimed a member of their research team saw the misty figure of a woman, unexplained noises, and other phenomena.
Okay. Phenomena.
And Carolyn did some historical evidence gathering, in quotation marks, that involved talking to locals and confirming their stories via psychics.
Okay.
She came across a woman named Bathsheba Sherman with a dark reputation. So, Bathsheba, as in the movies.
Yes.
She killed an infant, possibly her own, with a knitting needle and by impaling its skull, but was acquitted at trial due to lack of evidence. Yes.
That's what Nanny Doss did to her grandchild. Yep.
She also beat and starved her farmhands for years. Eventually, after drowning one of her children in the home's basement well, she hung herself in the attic. Locals believed she was a witch who practiced dark arts and worshipped the devil.
I wish they would stop putting negative connotations on witches. That really bothers me. So she's Nanny Doss and La Llorona mixed together.
Pretty much.
Okay.
From then on, they referred to the presence at Bathsheba by Lorraine and all those associated with the haunting.
Okay.
She suggested that the suspected witch could have taken the needle with her to the afterlife and used it to harm Carolyn. Because you know how I said Carolyn got stabbed in the leg?
Okay. I mean, can they do that?
I don't know, I guess. According to Lorraine, they can.
I have strong opinions about it. Ed and Lorraine Warren. So
as part of their services, Lorraine they did a bizarre seance.
Bizarre seance. Okay.
Andrea told a reporter, I thought I was going to pass out. My mother began speaking a language not of this world in a voice not her own. Her chair levitated and she was thrown across the room.
Okay.
But in the movie, they did Ed performing exorcism, not a seance. So they changed that part in the movie.
Okay, so they took some artistic liberties.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the movie portrays the Warrens as gently soulful people who just want to help.
Of course it did.
But history paints the couple quite differently.
Yes, it does.
Well-respected skeptics debunking the bulk of their work as exaggerated or exploitive, or as with the
Amityville.
Yes. Horror intentionally fabricated for profit and fame.
Yep. Again, I have very strong opinions about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Not to say that in the beginning they were not trying to be helpful. They were not, I think she had some kind of connection to the spirit world, and I do believe that Ed was a demonologist. He knew a lot of information. I'm not debating that, but I have a problem with people who do this stuff for the money.
Yeah.
Instead of just showing up and doing it to be helpful. When they do it for the money, that's when I have. But yeah, the Amityville, we're going to cover Amityville horror also. It is fucking wild, but that's the primary reason I have my opinions.
In 2023, Netflix documentary The Devil on Trial.
Oh, I watched that. I did. That's good.
I did not.
I watched it. It's good.
I can't even get on Netflix anymore, so.
What?
Yeah, because I'm not part of the house, because mom
Oh,
is the household.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Because I used to be able to watch on my iPad, but I can't watch on my iPad anymore.
Yeah. That's stupid, but whatever.
I had to get a freaking code to watch for 14 days. My 14 days are up, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Depicts the Warrens as swindlers who preyed on vulnerable families, feeding them fantastical tales mixed with pseudoscience to create narratives from which they themselves could profit.
Ding, ding, ding.
Vox describes the Warrens as a pair of conniving, reality-distorting, shamelessly grandiose, self-promotes, and sham psychics running a long-term con job.
Correct.
Curiously, despite the forum being overrun with what Lorraine described as dangerous demons led by an infant-killing witch with a knitting needle as an afterlife weapon, the parents continued to live there for 9 years until 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Miraculously, the haunting ceased when the parents left.
Miraculous.
So,
I mean, that would indicate that it's either attached to them specifically or the Warrens were full of shite.
Yes.
Okay.
So the real Bathsheba, because it's a real person.
Yes.
So a lot of the facts about her were actually really, really wrong.
Yes.
So she was a real person who lived in the 19th century in Rhode Island. She was born in 1812 and married Judson Sherman in 1844 at age 32, a spinster's age in that era.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of still a spinster's age now, really, I guess.
Oh.
She said, oh, I'm a spinster.
Oh, no, I'm getting there.
Well, I mean, and that's still what a lot of people... I say, do not get married, do not have children until you're ready. And if that's in your 40s or older, then that's what it is.
Yeah, because I'm 28. I'll be 29. Oh, I'll be 29 next month.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a few weeks. Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Oh, I'm getting old.
Shut the fuck up.
Her grave notes that she died on May 25th, 1885 at age 73, approximately 4 years after the death of her husband. And she did not hang herself during her childbearing years as purported by the parents.
Mm-hmm.
The Burrillville Gazette noted she died following a sudden paralysis, a common way to describe a stroke in the late 1800s.
And to live to 75 in the 1800s is like...
73.
Huh?
73.
Or 73 in the 1800s. That was like... That was great. So she must have been in great fucking health.
Exactly. The books also falsely claim that all her children died before the age of 4, but government census records show that her son, Herbert L. Sherman, lived a long life as a farmer, had a family, and outlived his mother.
Oh, so he was older than 73 when he died?
Uh-huh.
That's good, yeah.
The fate of her other 3 children, Julia, Edward, and George, is unclear.
Okay.
In Andrea's books, Carolyn is described speaking with a man named Mr. Curtin,
Okay.
a local historian. He is the one who allegedly told Carolyn about Bathsheba's history and the rumors about her. Researchers have been unable to find any evidence of a local historian named McCurtain, nor find any evidence of a trial or inquiry involving Bathsheba.
Shocking.
Because that certainly would have made front page news
Oh, yeah, I would think so,
if she killed an infant.
Right.
But they can't find nothing.
Especially if they thought she was a witch. Like, in the 1800s, like, there was no possible way if someone thought you were a witch, you weren't in court or ostracized or anything of that fashion.
Yeah. She was a lifelong member of the local Baptist church, and her minister oversaw her funeral, both unlikely if she was in league with Satan.
So, like, why did they choose this specific woman to create this grandiose tale of? Like, did they even? I mean, obviously, they didn't know her. It was the 1900s or 1970s, or whatever. But just did she live close to where they are? Where the host? Okay, well then that's fucking it.
She also never lived at the farmhouse, but on the Sherman farm, some distance away.
Okay, so she actually lived on their farm, but not in the actual house.
No, she lived on her own farm.
Oh,
distance away.
Oh, so she was like a neighboring farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But neighboring farms are usually good.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was only 8 acres, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, that's far, but not super far.
Yeah. So she was not a demon, a child murderer, or a witch, or a whisperer of the devil. Based on facts, she appeared to have lived a fairly average life of a hardworking farmer's wife. That kind of rhymed.
Average life, farmer's wife.
Sadly, The Conjuring smeared her memory, and her grave and headstone have been targeted by vandals for years.
Dude. Seriously?
Yes.
That is even after all of this, bitch.
Well, probably not now, but now that people know.
Even, okay, look. I don't care what you've done in your past life. You do not desecrate the final resting place. I firmly believe in that. Unless you want like bad attachment, then go the fuck ahead. But you should not desecrate a grave.
They have mixed reports of modern day hauntings.
Okay.
So the public relations team for the Conjuring movie told the press that cast and crew experienced supposed supernatural occurrences on set. Vera Farmiga, who played Lorraine Warren, reported seeing ghostly apparitions and feeling a sense of unease during filming. But that makes little sense because they filmed on film sets, not at the actual house.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was like just something attached to, I guess, the movie that they were doing it, like the story or what.
Yeah, okay.
Realtor Maud and Chase Sotheby's International Realty. Why is that so hard? Said regarding the house, to this day, countless happenings have been reported, but when pressed by reporters from the Boston Globe, they did not provide evidence.
Okay.
And then 2023, Travel Channel and Discovery Plus sponsored a pair of ghost hunters to shoot in the house. The conclusion was the ghosts were quick to show themselves.
Okay.
And then local caretaker Madison Heinzen, the daughter of the home's former owners from 2019,
okay,
has some 1.3 million followers on TikTok and shows them exactly how everyday tasks can quickly go wrong in the house, which I did look at some of her TikTok videos.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Were they like, do you think they're legitimate or?
I mean, they look legitimate.
Okay.
Because I also had to like scroll really far because they moved out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we'll send me her information. We'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah, because she did live in the house. So
okay.
And she had the freaking Raggedy Ann dolls.
Okay.
Yeah, she had them all around.
More than one.
Yeah,
okay.
more than one that I saw in some of the videos. Her videos depict a multiverse of what she calls paranormal events, each shot with a series of cameras she was streaming in the house.
Okay, so she just had cameras set up all around the house to capture.
Yeah, pretty much. Because she's like, I live in a spooky house. I'm gonna capture stuff.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I would do that.
In 2020, reporter Amanda Mikovits for the Boston Globe spent just one night in the house. She was a skeptic by trade, and she had the following to say.
Okay.
I'm glad it was just one night. The place seems haunted.
Okay.
And then 2021, People's Magazine's Julie Jordan spent a night at the house. She went with Liz Beadle and Emily Pancake. So
Pancake.
Pancake.
Okay.
So those three would like go to like different haunted places.
Mm-hmm.
So they call themselves the Ghost Moms.
Okay, that's cute.
And that was like their little book club kind of thing.
Oh, okay, I like that. Yeah, that's cute.
So around 11 p.m., nearby motion detector was triggered repeatedly for no apparent reason. They heard loud creaks in the living room as if someone was walking by.
Mm-hmm.
An upstairs motion detector went off, and they saw a ball of light in a corner where there was no obvious source for it. And then standing in a room next to the old well, a table shifted into Liz's leg, even though no one was next to it. And then a book fell off the library shelf and hit the floor hard.
Okay.
And then something in a film like The Conjuring exacerbates people's personal beliefs in the various and not uncommon psychological conditions, some of which have explained other ghost hauntings.
Okay.
So sleep paralysis during their overnight stay, if a lot of people feel that.
Look, in our minis, we're going to cover sleep paralysis. It is fucking wild. And the minis are for Patreon subscribers, by the way, just so y'all know.
So then we have pareidolia.
Oh, that's a name.
Don't ask me to repeat that. The normal human tendency to give meaning or interpretation
it's
to
not a
vague
name.
visual stimuli.
Wait. I know you said don't have you say it again, but what?
Pareidolia? I don't know.
Okay. I've never heard of that, but okay.
I neither. But apparently Word said it's not a word.
Wait, it's not a word?
According to Word, you kept making me correct it.
Well, okay.
I don't know. And then top-down processing, which embellished our perception of the world with information. Unintentional blindness, our brain's ability to miss things that are in plain sight.
Okay. I think my children have that.
And now we're on to Ghost Adventures because they did the Conjuring House.
Zach Bagel Bites.
So this was our Halloween episode in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
They called it The Curse of the Harrisville Farmhouse.
Okay.
So they did a little backstory. So the house is nearly 300 years old.
Yeah.
And then they gave me more information on the Arnold family.
Okay.
So they were cursed with tragedies.
Oh, okay.
So death of Sally Arnold in 1848. She succumbed to typhus along with 2 of her children. And then in 1866, Susan Arnold hung herself with a small cord from a wardrobe hook.
Oh.
And then 11-year-old Prudence Arnold, who declined 22-year-old William Knowlton's invitation of marriage,
Hold on. How old was she?
11,
What the fuck?
was nearly decapitated in 1849. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
11?
Yes. And he got mad, so he decapitated her.
He killed her?
Yeah, he killed her. He slit her
What?
throat and tried to decapitate her.
Oh my fucking god.
And then John Arnold committed suicide by injecting insecticide in 1911.
Yeah.
And then their neighbor, Jarvis Smith, went on alcoholic binge and was found dead from exposure in the Arnold barn in 1901.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm still struggling with the 11-year-old thing.
I know. I read that. I said, what the fuck?
That's okay.
And then 2019 of the spring, Jennifer and Corey Heinzen made headlines when they bought the house.
Mm-hmm.
So they were seeing a lot of flashes of light where there shouldn't be. And Corey and his son have seen a black mass, and it scared the son so bad he didn't come home for 2 weeks.
Where was he with his mom?
Because I think they bought the house, but they still had their house of where they because I think he said they were in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
They still had their other house, so he
stayed
stayed there. He didn't go to the Conjuring House.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not being there.
Legit.
Yeah, it scared him so bad. And then Bill Brock, Corey's friend, he's at the house, helping them.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the black mist, and he said it moved with purpose.
That's never good.
And he was a skeptic, but now he's starting not to be.
I mean,
And then Lieutenant Carlo, who's in charge of that little area or has jurisdiction, whatever. He said the owner before Corey had several calls to 911 for mysterious illnesses, even though he looked perfectly healthy and there shouldn't be anything wrong.
okay.
So
Okay.
this was they did a 3-day investigation.
Okay.
So when they first got to the house, so the first night, they did the tour with Andrea Perrin with the oldest data.
Right.
And she says her mother almost died because something Lorraine's medium unleashed. And Lorraine had told her 40 years later, Ed and I were in over our heads. As soon as we crossed the threshold, we just didn't know it.
Uh-huh.
Don't look at me like that. So she's the little backstory. So she says the eve of Halloween 1973, Lorraine walked to the black stove in the kitchen, covered her eyes, lowered her head, and said, I sense a malignant presence in this house, and her name is Bathsheba.
Bitch.
No one told her the name.
She didn't have to. There are records that show who lives near the property.
Yeah.
Okay. She did her own fucking research. Fucking bitch. Okay.
Yeah, there was no record of Bathsheba being a witch or murdering an infant, but apparently Lorraine had a good sense it or had a vision or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Lorraine concocted the story.
Yeah. So then one of the cameras was having a little malfunction, and Andrea said, oh, you're going to have a lot of those.
Okay.
So they brought a little trimeter, and it was like at 1, which is the baseline. And then when they felt like a little energy, and when he took it to the energy, it spiked to a 20.
That's a big spike.
That's a big spike. They had a lot of big spikes. And then Andrea says they would hear footsteps on the stairwell all the time. So she's like, you never knew if it was dad or if it was something else.
Right. Okay.
And then they played the voice of Roger, her dad, during some of the clips, which was recorded on August 25th, 2017. And he says it took him a year to believe, especially when she started coming to him. Like when Bathsheba started. Yeah. And then Andrea says the first night that when they got the house, the first night, her sister said there were voices around her bed saying there's 7 dead soldiers buried in the wall.
Okay.
So their house, they had like stone wall, like kind of walkways, and because of like all the wars and everything, they kind of believe that there's soldiers buried there.
Okay.
So that's what they thought they were talking about.
Yeah.
And then she told them that Lorraine had said a baby was killed in the room so now it's a library, but it used to be Andrea's parents' room.
Okay.
And a lot of stuff happened in that room to her mother.
Okay.
And they sold it in 1980 because her mother told her father that she would not survive another winter in that house.
Okay.
And she said when Ed and Lorraine showed up, all hell broke loose.
Well, of course it did, because if there is actual activity in there, they're identifying the wrong culprit, and the right culprit's like, bitch, fuck no. You're not going to lie about who I am. Oops.
So Roger was already furious because they came with an entourage.
Yeah.
And then he was against the seance, but they did it anyway. And Lorraine felt Carolyn was oppressed, one step away from possession. Ed told the kids to go upstairs. They did not. Andrea and Cindy watched from the door.
Okay,
they're children.
They're kids.
They're kids.
I get it.
They're gonna watch. And so they played the voice of Roger. He said 3 to 5 minutes in, my wife got all like her body went out of shape, like someone was squeezing her.
Oh,
yeah. And then the 200-pound table started to lift off the floor.
Okay.
And Carolyn was sitting in a chair. Her head went back and then forward, and then her chair lifted off the floor.
Okay.
And then Andrea said, and this is her quote, a hand of God made a fist and came around and landed in the middle of the table, and it like came crashing down on the floor.
Uh-huh.
And then she said Carolyn and her chair were tossed from the table to the middle of the room in front of the fireplace.
Okay.
And then while she's explaining all that, Zach starts to get an anger that becomes overwhelming him.
Of course.
And becomes unbearable.
Of course it did.
Billy blacks out and he has to sit at the table. Mm-hmm. Jay started seeing things moving on both sides of him, and they came around behind him, and he shut his eyes and put his head down.
Yeah, I've seen this episode.
The fact you even watched this episode because you don't like Zach.
Okay, again, it's not that I don't like him. And I watched this episode before I found out the things that I do know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It used to be my favorite until I learned correct information. So, okay.
Okay, so day 2 of investigating. So the day after, Corey shows him a video of the light in Andrea's old bedroom flashing intensely. Mm-hmm. And then
the ghost is trying to rave. Like, why are y'all questioning that? He wants to party.
So then they invite Keith and Carl Johnson, the demonologists and paranormal investigators, who had investigated the house for a couple months before the Warrens. Mm-hmm. But they left after something happened, and they never could finish their investigation.
Right. So I'm in full belief that the house is haunted. Don't get me wrong. But the story concocted by Ed and Lorraine Warren, I think, is complete and total shit. Yes.
So they came up with PYRO, Parapsychological Investigation and Research Organization.
Okay.
So they put an ad in the paper, and then 3 weeks later, Carolyn responded to it. So this is when they were starting to. So he's telling Zach what happened when they were.
How it became.
Yeah, how it became.
Okay.
So when they got there right away, Carl felt somewhat apprehensive and felt something off on the house. Keith felt something, didn't want him there.
Okay.
Because Keith is the one that carried the Bible, so I think he was more of the. What am I trying to say?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't either. Because he had the Bible in the episode, so I think he was like the one that would like do the prayers and stuff.
And demons don't like that.
Yes. So during interviews with the family, because they would interview the family of like what happened, Carl heard movement rustling around like footsteps shuffling upstairs, and the girls told him they hear that all the time.
Okay.
And then they took Keith upstairs, and the girls told him that's where they feel most afraid.
Oh, I hate that though.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the kids that feel scared.
And then same thing that happened with Jay. Carl saw a black mist and enveloped him. He closed his eyes, and then he opened them, and it was gone.
I mean, that's how you combat the boogeyman. You just pull the covers. You pull the covers over you, and he can't get you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna close my eyes. I see.
And
nothing.
then Keith said there's a window upstairs that could not be closed because of August humidity.
Yeah.
And then Keith asked them if they were like religious and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they were Catholic. So he said, well, let's call upon Jesus. The minute he said Jesus, the window slammed shut so hard it shook the entire room.
Okay. So if you need to shut your windows, just ask Jesus to help you.
Apparently.
And then the demon's gonna be like, "Fuck Jesus," and I'll close it. Damn it! I have more power.
So when they start doing when they start the investigation with Zach and all them, so they're doing like a drone shot of them walking to the house. They all see a black mist in the screen and porch.
Okay.
And then, so Carl starts talking. Aaron's holding the trifield mirror, and it starts spiking to 20.
Okay.
Because Carl's like, do you remember us? Like, all this.
Yeah.
And then they all heard thudding upstairs when Carl asked if the ghosts were ready for them.
Bring it on.
And he was like, well, I guess they're ready.
Yeah.
So
the ghost demons were like, come the fuck on.
Yeah. So Carl, Zach, and Jay go upstairs. Carl feels a cold mass that, like, moves because they can, like, feel it moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carl feels a stinging in the palm of his hand.
Okay.
And then so they have Billy bring up the trifield meter. And then when Keith starts talking about doing a prayer in Latin, it spikes to 30. So Billy brings up the trifield meter. Mm-hmm. And when Keith starts talking about doing a prayer in Latin, it spikes to 30.
You're at the wrong side of the door anyway. You know it doesn't open from that side.
Misha.
Baby, there's nobody here.
Which 30 is the highest spike they got that night. Aaron felt weird and had to sit down. And then so Keith does a protection prayer and everyone hears a growl. Pretty much.
No protection for you.
So they all decide to go to Nerve Center to monitor an empty house.
Okay.
And they hear wood creaking like someone sitting in the chair at the table where the seance was.
Okay.
So Zach and Billy do SLS camera upstairs.
LMFAO. Okay.
So they capture a figure in the doorway. A second figure appears. And then the second figure disappears and then reappears on the ceiling.
Okay.
And then the other figure, like the one that's standing, looks like he's holding the one on the ceiling. And then he reaches both arms out towards it. Towards the one on the ceiling.
What?
Yeah, it was kind of creepy to watch because I was like, what the fuck is that thing doing?
Oh, so it's like both of the ghosts or the black masses.
Well, like on the SLS camera, they're stick figures.
Oh, yeah, the stick figures.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yeah, no, they're stick figures on the SLS camera.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can literally see it standing there
with its arms outstretched.
with his arms out like this towards the smaller one on the ceiling.
That he's like, I'll catch you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
I love watching the SLS cameras because like sometimes they'll like dance and you can see them dance and it's great.
Yeah.
It cracks me up every time.
And so Aaron and Carl are sitting at the table and Carl invites the entity to join.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all start to feel a presence. And then Carl starts acting strange. He keeps shuddering, pounding his fist on the table, and he keeps going, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. And he did that for a good, like, couple minutes.
I don't like that.
And so he has Keith say the Lord's Prayer over him.
Yeah, I mean...
Because, yeah, he's literally going, don't leave, don't leave. And then he goes, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. Like, he gets faster with it. And then he goes, don't leave, don't leave.
No.
I was like...
Please leave
I was
immediately.
like, at that point, I'm like, goodbye.
Please leave. Close the door behind you.
Yes.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Get the fuck out.
And so they took over 200 Polaroid photos.
Damn.
And they captured a black mass on the floor by the table where the seance was.
Okay, we're going to post a lot of these pictures, so be looking for those.
Which, with this thing, it's... Everyone sees it's always a black mass.
Yeah, that seems to be a consistent theme throughout this whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's always a black mass.
Black math. I don't know what kind of math that is. The evil kind, I guess.
So Keith believes it's ancient and bound to the land and uses the house as a primary residence. Because you have like the Arnold family who like all died, but the neighbor died in the in the barn on the land.
Right.
So they think it's more on the land.
I mean, and I said that earlier, but then if it stopped after the parents left.
Well, it didn't really stop, but because they caught like all this,
Yeah.
so it didn't really stop. It just probably
Went dormant until somebody else was there to look at
Yeah.
it. Okay.
yeah. And then, so day 3, Zach is setting up an X camera in Andrea's old bedroom. Gets a stabbing pain in his kidney.
Of course he does.
Billy was looking outside, saw something move from right to left, but it's like a bright moon outside, so you can clearly see animals if it was an animal.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
all he sees is a black mass moving.
Yeah.
And then they hear another growl.
I'm just paraphrasing. I don't know what the growl is.
So then they go outside to like investigate.
Incorrect.
What?
You don't go outside when shit's growling at you.
Yeah, so they go outside and investigate. Well, they hear the growl inside.
Then you for sure go outside.
Yeah, so they went outside. So Zach asked about the soldiers in the wall since Andrea said her sister said there were dead bodies in the wall.
Right.
So they asked about that. So they have a thermal camera on the house outside, and it captures a mass coming from the wall.
Okay.
When he talks about it, and then so they keep their phones off
Right.
during investigations.
Yeah, because it'll mess with the EMF detectors and stuff.
So apparently his phone turned on, received a call from an unknown number,
Ooh.
and then when he goes to turn it off, Siri pops up with "Are you dead?"
Was the ghost asking if they were dead or
I don't know.
okay?
Because his phone turns on.
Are you dead?
Yeah, he gets a call from an unknown number, and he goes to turn it off to like end the call,
Right.
to like deny the call, and it just pops up, "Are you dead?" And they're all
I
like,
probably would have been at that
and
point.
they're all looking at Zach's phone like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, of course it was Zach's phone. I thought it was the other guy's phone, but if it's Zach's phone, it makes sense now.
And then when they come up to the creek, they capture a voice. And then using IR binoculars on the farmhouse, they're panning the house.
IR like infrared or?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I think it was infrared. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess.
I forgot to write down what IR meant. So they're panning the house, and so one of the rooms there's like a light, and then when you pan it, you see the light, and then when you pan it again, there's like a dark mass covering it, and you see it move.
Okay.
Because you pan it again, there's the light.
Okay, so it clearly shows that something moved across the light to block it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then they all go back in the house to do some more investigation. Aaron saw someone standing behind Zach twice. They do the intercom box and they capture "Forgive for me," and then leave.
Forgive me, but get the fuck out.
Forgive for me. That's what he said.
Forgive for me? What does that mean?
I don't know. That's what they captured. They don't know either. That's what the voice said.
So he's like, hey, forgive whoever fucked me over for me. Like, do that, but also get the fuck out.
Yeah, and then they capture leave. And then Aaron feels a sharp pain in his chest. So then while they're getting ready to finish, Jay wants to do a conjurer ritual. So they do it in the cellar. Billy and Zach stay upstairs. When Jay starts, they start hearing noises in the library. And so Billy stays at the table. Zach goes upstairs. So Billy's at the table with the geophone. He hears pacing in the library or the seance room behind him.
Okay.
Like you can hear it on the
recording.
On recording, like you can hear the pacing.
Okay.
The temperature's rising and it's chirping, which means there's some sort of disturbance.
Okay.
And then Zach's upstairs with the Ovilus, and he captures cellar lasting blaze. And at that point, Jay is doing the ritual. So Jay is doing the ritual in the cellar.
Yes.
And he had just lit.
Oh, gotcha.
A fire.
Okay.
So he's captured cellar lasting blaze.
Okay.
And then Jay and Aaron hear banging above them. And then Billy goes upstairs to the bedroom because he's getting freaked out by everything behind him.
Yeah.
He hears footsteps and then something lunging at him from the closet.
Nope.
And then you see the hangers moving erratically.
Mm-mm.
And at the shot beforehand, you see them perfectly still.
Nope.
And then Jay comes up to like check on them.
I don't
and
like shit hiding in the closet. That freaks me out.
Yeah. So at that point, Billy and Zach went to Nerve Center. So they're downstairs.
Right.
Jay comes upstairs to check on them.
So they're not even up there anymore.
So they're not even up there.
Okay.
He hears footsteps upstairs.
Okay.
When Billy and Zach are downstairs.
So like in the attic?
So it's like bedroom upstairs, like I guess living room, and then they had like another downstairs, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. So yeah, because Jay's downstairs in the cellar, and then Zach and Billy are like in like the living room, I guess.
Okay.
So Jay hears the footsteps bedroom upstairs.
Okay.
But it's not them. And then he has Jay close it, and they end the investigation.
Okay.
But that just is on the Conjuring House.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's definitely something spooky there.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like there is actually something there, but the whole Ed and Lorraine part, they're scam artists. And like I said before, not to say that they didn't have these abilities, because I think maybe they did, but they realized that they could make a quick buck off of it, and then they just exploited that. So. Well, I guess in continuing with demons, I'm going to talk about the Dybbuk Box. And the reason I guess that people kind of know about it, so this one's a long one, so be prepared.
Okay.
A Dybbuk box are wine cabinets claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk, which is a malicious demon said to hold the power to invade and possess a living person. So
Wait, it's a wine cabinet?
yeah, it says it's a wine cabinet.
But they show just a box. It's a what?
Yeah, it's a wine cabinet.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, you put wine in it. I don't know. It doesn't have like a dimension.
I don't know, because every movie they play to have a Dybbuk
It's a
box. It's just like a small little box.
Yeah, but this is says it's a wine cabinet. Hi, baby.
Hi, Mish.
An authentic Dybbuk box will usually come with some sort of backstory and a certified document, such as papers signed by a rabbi that state under all circumstances, do not open.
Why would you, for one, have those that you need papers?
I don't know. It didn't say like the reason that they do this. I mean, the Dybbuk box is basically just to like trap a demon in, but again, like why, like you said, why would someone want that?
Exactly. Like why would you have that you need papers?
Yeah.
They say don't open.
It doesn't say, I guess that's just what happens. I don't know. A Dybbuk box in Jewish folklore is a disembodied human spirit that, because of former sins, wanders restlessly until it finds a haven in the body of another living person.
That's great.
It does not enter through the mouth. Just saying. Just making that clear. Belief in such spirits was prevalent in the 16th and 17th centuries in Eastern Europe. So this has been something that's kind of been like known for a little while. Because it is said that Dybbuk boxes weren't really a thing until this story came out about Kevin Mannis, but that's not true. The word Dybbuk is an adaptation of the Hebrew root bavek, which means to cling or to cleave. A Dybbuk is considered to be a sticky evil spirit.
Sticky?
It sticks to you, yeah. Like it clings to you. Okay. It's like difficult to remove. Like, possession, like demons, they don't want to come out.
Yeah.
It is known to be a deceased, disembodied malcontent who clings to a living person in order to find respite from its troubles. So, like if it's living in purgatory or whatever, it clings to a human soul so it's not troubled.
Okay.
The phenomenon of being overcome by another worldly spirit has a long history. In Judaism, in the book of Samuel, David rids King Saul of a quote-unquote spirit of melancholy from God by playing his harp. It's not an exorcism. He just played the harp.
Apparently that was the exorcism.
I guess. The idea of the Dybbuk gained traction in the 16th century when Kabbalah, flourishing in the North Galilee city of Sfat, promulgated ideas about the afterlife. So again, this has been a thought since the 16th century, not since this dude wrote his eBay posting about a Dybbuk box.
Huh?
That's where the story comes from. This dude tried to sell, and we'll get there.
Okay.
But like I'm saying, like people are saying it only became a thing because of the story, which is not the case. In Judaism, it dates back to the 16th century.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they've been making movies before all that crap happened.
I don't think so. I think that the selling of that object is what started the movies. I think that's what the research said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Often individuals suffering from nervous or mental disorders were taken to a miracle-working rabbi who alone, it was believed, could expel the harmful Dybbuk through a religious rite of exorcism.
Okay.
Dybbuks are basically malevolent spirits for a warm body to call home. It's a demon possessing a human, basically. They're just using a lot of words to describe a demon and a human.
Okay.
The Dybbuk is created when a person has died but is not yet ready to cross over as they have sinned without performing teshuvah. Teshuvah is the act of repentance, kind of like Hail Marys, for the Catholics.
Yeah.
However, unlike other religions where repentance may be as simple as being forgiven by a priest or saying sorry, in Judaism there are clear steps to performing teshuvah. When one has transgressed against another person, they must follow these following clear steps. The first is regretting and acknowledging the sin. So you have to acknowledge that you performed the sin and be genuinely apologetic for it.
Okay.
They have to forsake the sin. They have to worry about the future consequences of the sin. They have to act and speak with humility. They have to act in a way opposite to that of the sin. For example, for the sin of lying, they should only speak the truth from there on out, no matter what.
Alrighty then.
They must understand the magnitude of the sin, refrain from lesser sins for the purpose of safeguarding oneself against committing a greater sin. So after you commit the sin, you are not supposed to commit any further sins, small or otherwise, because they feel like it could lead to something bigger.
Okay.
They must confess the sin. They must pray for atonement. They must correct the sin however possible. For example, if someone stole something, the object must be returned or paid for if it's sold from a store. Or if one slanders another, the slanderer must ask the injured party for forgiveness. So if like someone says something bad about somebody else.
What if you murder somebody?
I don't know. It didn't say. They just have to make rightness with however, I guess maybe apologize to the family or ask forgiveness from the family. They also must pursue works of chesed, which means kindness or love between people. So
charity work?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, or they just have to be kind and loving towards their fellow people in the community.
I love you, Lauren.
No.
Oh.
And then they also must speak the truth, which is, previously stated. They must remember the sin for the rest of their life. I
mean, if you gotta do all that, it'd be hard to forget it.
Yeah. And then they have to refrain from committing the same sin if the opportunity presents itself again. So, like, just say they stole something because nobody was around. The next time nobody's around and they have that inclination, they're not supposed to do it. Which, I mean, that's just general common sense and morality. And then the final one is they have to teach others not to sin.
Good luck with that.
So all of these steps have to be taken in order for them to basically cross over when they pass, if they have committed sins in their lifetime. Having not completed these steps, a spirit may fear the judgment that comes after death, which is a reason that they inhabit the body, because then they don't have to deal with it.
They're like, no.
Yeah. Unable or unwilling to perform teshuva, these spirits become Dybbukim and must seek a host. They cannot exist without a body, so they have to seek someone out to possess, like, immediately.
What happens if they don't?
I don't know. I think they just do.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it says they can't exist without it, so they'll just maybe be in purgatory forever. They don't, one way or the other. I don't know. It doesn't really say what happens if they don't. While the spirits themselves are frequently believed to have come from men, those who are possessed are more commonly women. There is often believed to be a highly sexual component to these possessions, as well as the exorcism performed to remove them.
Do what now?
So, the Dybbuk spirit are typically men, males, who typically possess females.
Okay.
And there seems to be like a sexual component.
Okay.
I mean, it's like soul rape, basically.
Alrighty then.
It's the best way I can describe it.
Okie dokie.
The term Dybbuk is believed to be fairly recent, but again, documentation goes back to the Torah. So very, very old, not new. It's just more widely known now because of what we're going to get into. It is frequently used to identify any entity capable of human possession, but this is also incorrect because many creatures, spirits, entities, or demons are capable of human or animal possession without being a Dybbukim. Furthermore, the possession of animals by Dybbukim is only speculated in some communities, but there does not seem to be any kind of evidence, no credible evidence of this ever happening. So it's claimed that it has happened, but like there's been nothing to prove that this
how are you going to prove that animals possess?
I don't know. I guess like mad cow disease or something where they go crazy before it had a name.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, in a lot of these stories that we cover about possession or whatever, a lot of it is mental illness. And at that time, people did not know about it. They didn't research it. They had no name for it. So if they were acting crazy or acting out of their character, they were possessed by a demon. So I think that's probably what happened. Okay. So it has been documented that when possessed by a Dybbuk, the victim would spew horrible, often lewd speeches uncommon for their host.
That's any possession, though.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, this kind of ties into any kind of just possession, quote unquote. But specifically in Judaism, this is what their belief is. They would cause great embarrassment and act in lascivious ways. So, like, people who were normally mild-mannered, quiet, or the complete opposite when they were possessed, basically. Some had problems entering synagogues, holding or touching holy books, as well as interacting with rabbis and pious members of society. Previously well-mannered, like I said, pious people were suddenly vile, crude, and overtly sexual and aggressive to those around them. So they turned in from quiet, well-mannered, polite people to just complete fucking assholes.
Horny assholes, apparently.
Yeah, that too. Abusive, horny assholes. Am I a Dybbuk? We'll figure that out later. There are rules that identify the possession of a Dybbuk. The first is that a person acted against their own will. And this can be anything from speaking languages that they do not know to writing words that they don't know or performing acts that they could not normally perform. This is a common theme among Dybbuk victims. Violent convulsions are also frequently documented during possession.
Okay.
Rabbi Gershon Winkler defines...
That's a nice, good last name right there.
Yeah. He defines the list of kind of what they look for. So it is said that both of the Dybbuk and the victim remain conscious and coexist in the same body. The victim is typically distressed, which I would be too if something was possessing me.
Exactly.
The victim is more likely to be female than a male, while the Dybbuk is more likely to be male than female. And there are special means that are necessary to dispel the Dybbuk. The exorcism, while normally dominated by Catholic imagery, has existed within Judaism for centuries. Exorcising a Dybbuk is not an unheard of case, though it has not been commonly practiced for quite some time. So it was like more prevalent in the earlier years. Not so much now.
They just hide it better.
Maybe, or they just don't have, people aren't being possessed like that anymore. Maybe the people in the Jewish community have learned the steps to repel their sins, and so it's not a common thing anymore. The spirit who has not completed teshuvah is afraid to transition or move on, but knows that the body that they are in is not theirs. So, there's a certain consciousness to a Dybbuk. It is this cognizance that allows for the exorcism to take place. So, basically, it's saying that the Dybbuk knows it's not in its own body. Instead of being like, this is my body, I'm not leaving. That's what makes it easier for the rabbis to get it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So they know it's not their body. They know they're not supposed to be there. So that's what makes it easier, because they're not fighting against it. No, this is my body. This is truly me. They know it's not their body. So the rabbi's like, get the fuck out.
Okay.
Some choose to view these exorcisms with a melodramatic, chilling perspective. The Jewish Chronicle describes the steps to an exorcism with the same level of drama one might entertain with the ghost story. Very flourished.
What?
Very exaggerated.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. So these are the steps that they normally take for an exorcism.
Okay.
After assessing the possessed person, quote unquote, to determine if the victim is not merely suffering from psychotic depression, sleep deprivation, and other physical or emotional symptoms. So they do actually look to see if there's some other cause of their problems.
Smart.
Right, because I don't know about in Judaism, but I know in Catholic exorcisms, people tend to die.
They're brutal.
Yeah, people tend to die. So they kind of rule out other issues that could possibly be the cause of their behavior. And then a minyan, or a group of about 10 Jewish adults, usually men, would gather after preparing themselves through fasting and immersion in a mikveh, or a ritual bath that cleanses you. There's this lady on TikTok who is an Orthodox Jew, Miriam, and she talks about the mikveh a lot. She her pots and stuff, before they can cook them, they have to dip them in a mikveh. They have to purify themselves after their period, I think. They go into a mikveh bath to make themselves pure again.
I mean, I feel gross too, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like watching her. There is some precedence to anointing oneself in oil before being clothed in white. They are also wearing talit, which is a prayer shawl, and tefillin, which I didn't look up what that was, but that's what they're wearing. The group would then gather to expel the Dybbuk from its host, typically in a synagogue. The exorcist, who does not have to be a rabbi, but rather a deeply pious person with a relationship with Hashem, which is their word of God, would speak directly to the Dybbuk, listing out its sins during life.
But how would they know what the sins are, though?
I guess because they ask who the fuck they are.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
And because the Dybbuk is conscious of itself, and, it's like, well, I'm John Snyder. Well, if you're John Snyder, I'm sorry. I just picked a name.
I'm laughing at someone's name.
John Schneider, don't come for me. Okay? Oh, it was just a name. So they ask, who it is, and I guess they're told. A Dybbuk may be known to their community by name. So the community may already know who the Dybbuk is. That's how they know.
Uh,
It is also known that Magid or a Majid, a spirit guide or angelic teacher, may be invoked in order to aid in the removal of a Dybbuk. They are known to take over the body, and it may trigger automatic writing, which is also known as psychography. It's a practice where someone writes without conscious control or intention, often described as a form of channeling. So, like, I'm sure you've seen in, like, movies or TV shows where people get possessed by the spirit and they just start writing shit.
Yeah.
That's basically what they do. It is believed to be a way to access the subconscious mind, a higher self, or even communicate with spirits or other entities. The writer essentially acts as a scribe, allowing the words to flow through them without conscious editing or judgment. So that's how they kind of get into the mind of the Dybbuk, which could also be how they figure out who it is. Maybe they do that first, and then the 10-men group are like, okay, these are your sins.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that's the history of the Dybbuk and the Dybbuk box.
Okay.
The real one. Now we're going to get into Kevin Mannis and his story. So Kevin Mannis was searching for items for his antique store. He owned an antique store. He found an estate auction of items from a quote-unquote Holocaust survivor who had passed at the fine old age of 103.
That's old.
Oh, very old. He won a lot that contained hundreds of dollars in items for the store, including a locked wine cabinet that the late woman's granddaughter called, quote-unquote, the Dybbuk Box. Even though Kevin claimed to be Jewish and knew what a Dybbuk Box was, he took the box and the other items for sale back to his store. So, mistake number 1.
If you know what it is, why the hell would you do that?
When everything was put in the store's basement, Kevin went to work on the brass lock that held the box shut. So not only did he take it home,
Why would you try to open it, dumbass?
He tried to open it.
If you know what it is, why would why?
Morbid curiosity, I guess.
I don't care.
I mean, maybe he didn't initially believe that it was a Dybbuk box, but if I get a lockbox, I'm leaving it locked. When he broke the clasp, the doors did open. Inside, Kevin found some odd trinkets that he chalked up to being the items of a sentimental old woman and didn't think anything about the box beyond it being just an old wine cabinet. So, again, I think he just broke it open because he didn't believe
what's in
it.
the box?
Eventually, yeah.
Oh, gosh. This is why you don't open locked things that are old.
Right.
No touchy. Be smart.
Yeah.
Use the brain if you have one.
Probably not. Jane
This man did not.
Howerton. No. Jane Howerton, Kevin's sales assistant, was cleaning up the basement before opening one day, and she got a feeling that something was watching her.
Nope. Goodbye. I quit.
She
Fuck
had
this.
spent hours in the basement alone before, even to the point of being able to walk through it in the dark, and never felt the sensation of being watched or something being off.
Yeah, nope. I quit. Goodbye.
Yeah, so this was a new sensation for her. When Jane stepped away to answer the phone, she heard a noise and knew something was wrong. When she went to investigate, glass started breaking all around her.
Yeah, nope. Goodbye. Nope. Nope. Goodbye.
Yep. And then the lights that were off, that she knew she turned off, popped back on.
Yeah, nope. Goodbye.
With the light switch
I quit.
down.
I quit.
So she called Kevin, begging him to come back to the store to kind of check it out because she was freaked out, and said that it sounded like something was taking a baseball bat to the inventory. So, like, all the breaking stuff, she called Kevin and she's like, something's happening. Please help.
Help.
When Kevin finally got there, the wrought iron door to the basement was locked.
With her down there?
No.
Oh.
No. But it was locked, and he hadn't locked it. She didn't lock it. On the other side, though, of the door, the lights were out. The light switch was useless. Turning it on, off, it didn't do anything. So he pulled out a flashlight and went to... Oh, yeah, it was locked. She was in there locked in there. Yeah.
Fuck that shit. I quit.
So pulling out a flashlight, Kevin went to find Jane. All of the 4-foot fluorescent bulbs had been cast to the ground. So all of the bulbs that were in the ceiling had fallen out and smashed on the floor. And also the other light bulbs were shattered, like just the regular light bulbs were all on the floor.
Yeah, nope.
When he finally found Jane, she swore at him and walked out, never returning ever.
Me too, girl.
She said,
too.
Fuck you. Fuck this fucking place. I'm fucking out.
Look what you done did, bruh.
Yeah.
Look what you done did. You dumbass.
And then, to make matters worse,
Oh, no.
Kevin decided that Jane smashed everything up on her own because he couldn't figure out what else happened.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Later that October, Kevin thought he'd found the perfect birthday gift for his mom, which was the Dybbuk box.
No.
Knowing in Jewish lore what this box was,
I hope his
why
mother
would you
pitched
give
it
to
at his
mom?
head. I hope his mother pitched it at his head and said, fuck you.
Yeah. Kevin was called away shortly after giving her the box. Ida, which is his mother, examined the box and she opened it.
No. Why? Ooh, why?
She felt a cold evil from it, and it kept her from moving or speaking, so it paralyzed her when she opened the box.
Like permanently or just at that moment?
Just at that moment.
Okay.
Kevin returned to find his mother incapacitated by a stroke. So,
Bruh, you done tried to kill your mother.
yeah. He said that she was terrified. He could see it in her eyes. Scared to death. So eventually Kevin realized that the common denominator in the situations, with the store and then his mother, was the box.
Uh-huh. You think, dumbass?
He decided it was time to sell it.
No. No.
He put it on eBay, okay? Well, no, not yet. He decided it was time to sell it. An older couple bought the box.
Why?
I don't know, because they wanted it. I don't think he was listing it as a Dybbuk box. I think he was listing it as just like a wine cellar, a wine locker box thing. So they, within days, they left it at the store's door, didn't even go in, with a note that said odd darkness about it.
Good job. Bring it back. There you go.
They didn't even want their money back. They just left it at the door and said, fuck this, I'm out. Yeah. So since it wouldn't sell otherwise, Kevin put it in a box in his storage unit behind the house until he could figure something out, because he kept trying to sell it and it wouldn't sell. So
That's what you get, dude. You get to keep it forever.
yeah,
You
all that
dumbass.
did was cause Kevin nightmares of any friend, turning into a violent hag who would beat him up.
I beat him up too, the freaking dumbass.
Like all of his friends were in his dreams. They turned into a hag and they whipped his ass.
He's a freaking dumbass. Dude,
Yeah.
what?
Kevin awoke with bruises almost every day. Every
This is what
night,
you get, dude.
every single
'Cause
night.
you dumb.
Every single night the nightmares came. So it was repeat every time.
Like, you know what the fuck that was. You open it anyway.
Yeah.
Because you a dumbass.
Yep. Eventually, Kevin decided that the box was cursed
You think?
and that he had fucked up.
You think?
Doing what anyone would do with a cursed antique, Kevin put it on eBay, hoping
Yes,
someone...
because that's what anyone would do with a cursed object.
Have you looked at eBay? That's exactly what people do.
So you get kidnapped on eBay too.
He put it on eBay, hoping someone with occult knowledge might be able to properly dispose of it. He referred to it as a Dybbuk
So
box.
don't sell it. Just freaking give it to the freaking rabbi. If you're freaking Jewish.
He referred to it as a Dybbuk box and disclosed everything that had been happening. College student Brian Grubbs noticed that his roommate Sam was checking out the listing. About 3 weeks later, Brian had come home for lunch. No sooner did he set foot in the house that he was hit with an overwhelming smell of urine.
What?
Yeah. It doesn't explain why.
Don't tell me that kid bought that box.
He did. He walked back into the kitchen and was face to face with the box itself. Sam, in a fit of curiosity, had actually won the listing on eBay and bought the box.
And apparently peed himself?
I don't know. It doesn't ever say. Sam began recording his experiences in a blog. The box also became the focal point for many house parties.
No!
Including a moment when Sam thought it would be funny to stick a girl's hand into the opened box with the Dybbuk.
No! No.
The boys thought they were just playing innocent pranks because they
Bad
did
job.
not believe it was haunted.
Bad job. Bad boy. No.
However, this was until the electronics in the house for the party started wigging out. Sam had to replace his laptop, and other electronics in the house began dying every single day. So every day there was a new electronic that no longer worked with no indication of why. He would change batteries, buy new plugs, didn't matter, wouldn't work.
Because you people are freaking dumb.
Yeah. One morning, another of Brian's roommates woke with heavily bloodshot eyes. Bugs were crawling all over the box, in the living room, up the walls, absolutely everywhere.
No. Nope.
Sam-
No.
Sam grew more reclusive, noting in his blog that he was like starting to see things. And that point is when Sam decided he had to get rid of the fucking box.
Give it back to Kevin.
He finally believed at that point it was haunted, and that's what was causing these problems.
Give it back to Kevin. He's the one that fucked up. Give it back to Kevin.
Yep. Jason Haxton, who is a director in the local medical museum, was fascinated by Sam's blog.
No, you're not.
He was interested in obtaining the box.
Oh my God.
Trying to find a scientific basis for the things that were happening to Sam. So he wanted to like
debunk it pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, smart but dumb.
Right. Because what happens if you can't debunk it? Then you've got the box and you've got the problem.
Exactly. Like there is no debunking.
So Sam put the box back up on eBay, and Jason was on the case. He said, "I need that shit. Give it to me now."
You don't need it. You don't need it.
He gave Sam twice what he paid for it, so he doubled the amount that Sam.
He really wanted that.
Yeah,
bitch.
he really wanted it.
He don't need it, but he wants to be the dumb one. Okay.
Yep. Jason scanned, once he had it, Jason scanned the box for contaminants, like anything that would be like chemical wise that might cause hallucinations or something that could kind of determine why he was seeing things or things were happening, just some kind of contaminant. But all he found was the dripping of wax on the front of it on one of the doors. He said it looked as though the box had been used in some type of ritual. So like initially when Kevin bought it, there was no mention of the wax. So we don't know if it was there and it just wasn't talked about, or if between Sam and now Jason, something happened and they did a ritual or something like that. Or maybe if it was just an accident, they were having a party, candles were lit, something got knocked over. We don't know. But within days of the box arriving at the museum, the computers started crashing, shutting down. Weeks.
Can you debunk that, Jason?
Weeks of work was lost. Not backed up. Gone.
That's what you get for buying a box that you don't need to have.
The light bulbs around the box began exploding. So like wherever the box was, any lights that were near it exploded. Kind of like it did in the basement at the storage place.
Need the box.
Jason took the box, locked it in the trunk of his truck.
Oh yeah, that's real smart, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. He just spooked and didn't know what else to do. So he just put it in his truck.
Bury it in the yard. Burn it.
After that, Jason began dreaming of the hag every time he tried to sleep. But it doesn't say they whipped his ass. He just dreamt about her.
Okay.
One night, Jason and his son were watching TV. When his son saw something, Jason looked over and saw a black mass behind his son. Neither of them were able to figure out what it was. Like it was just there and then it wasn't, and then it never happened again.
Yeah, nope. Give the box back to Kevin.
So at this point, I guess because his son was involved and was seeing things also, Jason decided the box needed to be isolated and quote unquote sealed again. He took it to the basement of an unused rental property, left it there, and locked the door behind him. He didn't. Oh wait, no, he did. He did come home. He came home and took a ritual bath to cleanse himself of the evil box, but it didn't work.
I bet not.
Suddenly, he felt something tearing inside of him. He began vomiting mucus while he was in the bath.
Ew.
Yep. And outside of the door, his wife was like freaking out because she found a patch of bloody poison ivy, but nobody had been cut or whatever, but it was just like blood-soaked poison ivy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It was at this point that Jason decided to call Kevin Mannis, the original owner.
Kevin, get your box back.
Kevin went back to the house where he bought the box back. There, he met Sophie, the cousin of the old woman who'd passed, who had the box. Sophie told him the story of the box.
Oh, now y'all tell him the story.
It is said prior to World War II, seances were something of a rage, like everybody was doing seances. Sophie's cousin had made a makeshift Ouija board with embroidery on a handkerchief.
You don't do that either.
Yeah.
You don't do that either.
No. During the seance, the group contacted what they thought was a Dybbuk. It haunted them as it tried to get them to bring it across. The girls used the box to trap the Dybbuk once it had come into the world. So instead of it, they're like, yeah, come on. And then they just tricked it and put it in the box.
Why?
I don't know.
Why is everyone dumb?
I don't know. Using that knowledge, Jason contacted rabbis and found the best way to seal the box. It had been hidden away for 7 years. Although he did pull it out of the ground, he initially buried it in so it could appear on an episode of
Ghost Adventures!
Zach Bagel Bites, Ghost Adventures, which is season 1, episode 4 of the Dybbuk Box, Ghost Adventures Quarantine. So this was in 2020.
I think I remember that episode.
It had the Dybbuk Box, and I think it had Robert the Doll, which is my next story.
I think so,
it had
yeah.
The same,
Yeah.
So in 2020, the then 44-year-old Zach Bagel Bites Baggins opened... Nope, it's Baggins.
Baggins.
Nope.
He's not the Hobbit. It's Baggins.
Baggins. Bilbo Baggins. No, it sounds too much like bagels. I like bagels. I don't like whatever.
Now I want bagels. I'm hungry.
I have blueberry bagels.
Ooh, blueberry bagels?
I have them.
Okay.
In 2020, the then 44-year-old Baggins opened the box on an episode of Ghost Adventures Quarantine. He supposedly, quote unquote, heard it say Kevin, referencing Kevin Mannis.
Oh, yeah, it did.
And evil, then heard a child's voice, which is fucking creepy on its own.
Oh, yeah, it was creepy.
The show captured on camera what Baggins and his crew claimed was a figure that manifested inside the box. The highlight of the episode, however, at least from like the media standpoint, was the security camera footage of Baggins and Post Malone touching the box, the closed box. However, it is said that Post Malone didn't actually touch the box.
Yeah, he said, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck that. I ain't touching it.
Zach had his hand on it, and Post Malone was like touching Zach's shoulder.
Yeah, because Post was like, I'm not touching
He
this.
said, fuck no. But the bad vibes supposedly transferred to him anyway. In the ensuing months, his private plane was forced to make an emergency landing. His San Fernando Valley home was broken into, and he was also involved in a car accident. Yeah. So, no one has reported further activity. So, for now, it's safe. Except.
I like how you put accept in like big bold letters.
Yeah, because this is super important right here. Charles Moss wrote an expose on the whole situation in July of 2021, basically confronting Mannis about the story. He had heard the initial story and reached out to Mannis, who continued with the story of the Dybbuk Box. The following is what happened after Charles confronted Mannis. So from here on out, it is going to be quotes. As I pulled this directly from his interview, and the whole thing is important.
So like Kevin's quote?
No, Charles.
Charles quotes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Charles goes on to say, the next time I talk to Mannis, I take him up on his advice. I call him on his bullshit.
Ooh.
And that's when he tells me everything he wrote in 2003's eBay listing is a work of fiction.
This motherfucker lied about everything.
Everything.
Ooh, boy, ooh.
Kevin goes on to say, I am a creative writer. The Dybbuk Box is a story that I created, and the Dybbuk Box story has done exactly what I intended it to do when I posted it 20 years ago.
Excuse.
So now do you see why I think at Ghost Adventures isn't exactly all that it is? Because they're saying, oh, all this happened, and it wasn't even real. The box wasn't real.
It could have happened.
It had nothing in it. all the items in it, and we'll get there. So Charles asked him, what was your intention? And Kevin told him to become an interactive horror story in real time. That was his intention.
Boy, I hope you. Oh.
He goes on to say, though Mannis did buy the wine cabinet at a yard sale, it was from an attorney, not the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor. The carving in the back of it, Kevin did that. The stone that was in the box is something.
Take him back to his damn kneecap.
The stone that was in the box is something that is a signature creation of mine also. Make no mistake, I conceived of the Dybbuk Box, the name, the term, the idea, and wrote this creative story around it to post on eBay. Number one, he did not create Dybbuk boxes. He did not create the name. That is something that is in Judaism since the 16th century. So, again, another lie. This man cannot be trusted. Charles goes on to say, I verified with two of his friends, Kurt Morris and Matthew, quote-unquote, Shaggy Christensen, who worked with Mannis at a bar called Club Underground in Beavertown, Oregon, at the time he was concocting his story. The hair in the Dybbuk box, Christensen said, that's his hair. His hair. He asked Christensen for the hair, so he gave it to him.
What?
Morris says Kevin is one of the most brilliant people that I've ever met. The specific box was Kevin at a low point, needing some money. And in his brilliant mind, he came up with an incredible story that he knew would sell, and it became the phenomenon that it now is. So you see where my problems are? Mm-hmm. You are all mad. It's not even real.
I am mad.
Yep. Mannis said it wasn't money issues that motivated him, but relationship problems with his girlfriend and a host of other bad luck events at the time.
Because how they also know Kevin ain't lying about this shit.
Yeah, they don't. He says he channeled all of that negative energy into his tall tale. He says, at the time I created the Dybbuk Box, it was during Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. He writes in a Facebook message to Charles. He said, I created the box whilst praying and asking for forgiveness for all of the sins that I had committed that I knew about, and perhaps even more important, the sins I had committed that I didn't know about, except this one. He didn't atone for this whole lie.
How they not know he's not lying about this shit?
I don't know. Not everything about Mannis' story was fake. He did actually give that wine cabinet to his mom on her birthday, who did pass away. She actually did have a stroke, but he just incorporated that the box was the cause of it.
Probably was. Who knows?
Which is fucking insane to me to say that kind of shit about your deceased mother. Like, this dude's a piece of shit.
I'm taking a freaking bat to his knees.
Yeah, this dude's a piece of shit. Charles said, but what about that interview she did on Paranormal Witness? And he said, it was an outstanding bit of motherly support and an Oscar-winning performance. So she just backed him up because that's her kid. He goes on to say that while she was doing that interview, she was still recovering from her stroke. And if you listen closely, you can hear it in her speech. He said, I didn't talk to her or coach her or commiserate with her before she did her interview. And apparently at some point there were claimed the Dybbuk Box was blamed on the suicide of a shop worker and his brother. But the suicides were actually real. Kevin claims that these were actually real instances, not because of the Dybbuk Box, but Charles was never able to independently verify that. So there's like no proof. Again, just Kevin making shit up. And the possibility of Haxton and Mannis being in on the hoax together. Mannis says he didn't know Jason except through the sale and research and everything that has to do with the box after he sold it. He said there was no collusion at any point between him and Jason, the guy that bought the box. So it seems like they just continued the story, pretending it was real. I don't know. Mannis admitted that he added new elements to the Dybbuk Box story over the years to help it evolve and to keep it relevant and interesting. Haxton did more press and the popularity of the story grew, and the only way to regain control and to have viable assets was to keep writing the story. So they just added to it and added to it and added to it, and it wasn't real. On Ghost Adventures Quarantine, Mannis told another part of his ongoing ghost story. He had given Bagans a second, smaller Dybbuk box, and on the show said there were a total of 10 that were hidden around the globe. Mannis explained that Havela, along with other Jewish women, including someone named Sophie, summoned an evil spirit to help the Jews fight against the Nazis during the Holocaust, but they couldn't control it.
What?
This man's fucking sick. He says his mom died because of the Dybbuk box. She didn't. They're saying that they summoned a Dybbuk during the Holocaust to fight the Nazis, but it failed. Like, do you know how many fucking people died in the Holocaust? Why? Dude, this story makes me so angry. That same spirit Havela believed caused some of the 20th century's greatest disasters, including the Korean War. Knowing what they had done was wrong, Havela eventually captured the Dybbuk and separated it into 10 Dybbuk boxes. If those boxes are ever brought together, evil will be unleashed on the world, the likes of which have never been seen prior. Bagans now had 2 of them, while Mannis had 6. The last 2 Mannis claimed were yet to be found.
What?
Yeah.
I'm still watching Ghost Adventures.
So he's just passed out fake boxes and they're having fake experiences with them. Bagans has been accused in the past of dramatizing, even fabricating paranormal events on his show. Mannis said that while shooting Ghost Adventurers' Deadly Possessions, he wasn't given clear instructions on what to expect. After getting mic'd up, Mannis said he was told to take a look at the Dybbuk box. He said, I'm waiting. And frankly, I thought maybe they've got some kind of technical issue. It'd probably been 20 to 25 minutes. And I'm saying, hey guys, what are we doing? Are we shooting or what?
Yeah. Okay.
So he was just looking at it. They just had him look at it for 20 minutes. Mannis had to be back in Portland in a couple of days to do a spoken word performance featuring some children's poems he wrote. One of the poems is called The Shadow Man.
Alrighty then.
He decided to run his lines while he was waiting for the Dybbuk box, like looking at the Dybbuk box. He decided to run his lines in a British accent. And
Why?
he said, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. He said, I forgot that I was wired for sound. And of course, it was included in the episode. After it aired, Mannis said he received emails from people telling him about their own Shadow Man experiences. The Shadow Man has taken on a life of its own, kind of like the Dybbuk box. So
I feel like I have to rewatch this episode.
basically what happened is he was reading lines in his head because they were having him just stare at this fucking box for 20 to 25 minutes. So he decided to make use of his time because he had an upcoming show. And Ghost Adventures decided to post it as some kind of paranormal event that happened because of the Dybbuk box. Do you see my problem?
I'm still watching. Ghost
I'm sure you
Adventures.
will. I'm just saying, there are reasons. I have reasons. Just like with Ed and Lorraine, I have reasons. Though Mannis claims to be an avid student of Kabbalah and Judaism in general, he denies
Bullshit. You would not be doing this shit. You
Right.
lying motherfucker.
Right. He denies Haxton's allegations that he put any kind of curse or spell on the wine cabinet before selling it. So, like, Haxton, I guess, believes whatever. I don't know. It never really goes into detail about the other people. In fact, Mannis recalls talking to Haxton over the phone, telling him that the box was fake. I was like, listen, man, this is a ghost story, okay? That's not real.
If you're Jewish and he's Jewish, he should know that he's lying and that he.
So the initial eBay buyer, the college kid, he did tell them that it was not real. He told them it was fake, and he's like, I'm sorry if I didn't tell you. Maybe I forgot. Jason was like, you don't have to lie. You ain't got to lie, Kevin. You ain't got to lie. So Haxton did not believe that Kevin was not telling the truth. This isn't to say that Mannis doesn't believe that some strange things may have happened to him and the other people who came in contact with his fake box. He said he doesn't necessarily link it to the box.
At this point, he did link it to the box.
But he does say that Haxton, Bagans, and Kevin all had sewer-related problems while in the possession of the wine cabinet. Kevin claims that while doing radio interviews with Haxton over the years, the stations have experienced technical difficulties, and some mishaps have happen to its listeners.
Yeah, he don't jinx the box so much that it's freaking doing shit now.
He said, when we've done radio interviews, people would call up and say, hey, my computer just burst into flames when I brought a picture of the box up. He said a woman called during one of the shows saying that her truck had caught on fire when she brought the image up. Why are you driving and looking at this shit? You probably hit something, your gas tank exploded, and your car went on fire.
Probably.
On the other hand, Mannis said that he has had a lot of people calling him a grifter and a scammer.
That's what you are, boy.
He said, these people do not hold back online. They are vicious.
Well, when you do shit like that, dude.
They're vicious because it's true. Even when Charles, the author of this article, revealed to Haxton that Mannis had confessed to making the whole thing up, Haxton maintained that everything that happened to him because of the box was true.
I mean, it could have been true for him.
I mean, it could have been just whatever. But he goes on to say it's been more of a blessing than a curse. He said he always calls it a wish box.
Why? What?
I don't know. He said whoever created the Dybbuk box gave it power to do something.
I mean, it's pretty much what Kevin did.
Yeah. He said the creation and its story created a ripple effect in people's lives. Referring to Mannis, he said the sum of the Dybbuk box is greater than he ever imagined. So, Charles wanted to know, what would the current owner of the box make of Mannis's admission? So on a Tuesday, Charles emailed Bagans, who initially declined to be interviewed for his piece via a haunted museum representative. I guess so the person who answers the phone or the emails at the museum that Bagans owns. But he declined to be informed of Mannis's confession. This sent a flurry of communication between the two men that Charles later found out. So between Kevin and Zach, I guess there was like a bunch of back and forth emails about the validity of what's going on. So Mannis eventually messaged Charles on Facebook to say he had gotten a call from Bagans. He writes, not good, not happy, and you won't believe the shit happening around me now. Seriously, like I'm getting bombarded with the curse. Then he lists the events that have happened to him in the past week, including his car breaking down, his girlfriend leaving him, her mother dying, and 2 of his friends passing away.
Damn.
So instead of a Dybbuk box, I like to call that karma. Karma, 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 chameleon. Kevin goes on to say, I'm not going into the rest of the stuff that has occurred over the last 7 days. But it is striking to say the least, and it keeps coming. Despite all of this and subsequent messages, he still refers to the original Dybbuk Box story as fictional. So he still does not believe that the Dybbuk Box is real because he made it up. Later, Zach Bagel Bites Bagans does email Charles back. He says, since owning the Dybbuk Box, there have been countless documented experiences people have had with it. Not just from myself, but my museum staff, my fellow crew members, visitors, and most notably Post Malone. He also claims that multiple guests have been severely affected in the Dybbuk Box room in his museum, and some of them had to be escorted out on a stretcher by EMT.
I mean, he made it a good old story that at this point something probably did get attached to that shit.
Possibly, or it's just shared psychosis of people believing it, and so things manifest and they cause their own demise.
It's all the above.
Yeah, something. He goes on to say, I don't believe this to be the full truth in response to what Mannis told him about making up the story. He cites some of the things that had befallen Mannis in the past week, which Mannis had also shared with Zach. He goes on to say, I think there is so much more to the Dybbuk Box, and regardless of its origins, is very much cursed and evil. I'm not surprised that more controversy and conflict keep arising from it. The Dybbuk Box has always raised questions and intrigue, and it adds to its narrative. So he's also refusing to admit that it's a hoax. But it's a hoax. It's not real. For those who doubted Mannis' story, Charles says his article is their confirmation. He said for those who want to believe about the Dybbuk Box, they're not going to believe that Mannis made it up. The Dybbuk Box has been the focus of books, major motion pictures, and TV shows. Zach concluded his conversation with Charles to say, there is more to this powerful cursed item. Its story is still being told. And with that, Mannis's interactive horror story begins a new chapter and continues further.
I mean, he pretty much gave that thing a story.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where something probably is attached to that thing.
I don't know. I believed it at first, but then like this interview and the fact that he came out and said it's not real, like I believe that more than this.
Because how do you know he also is not lying? Like he's not telling that. Like he's just. How do you know what's his truth and what's not?
Right.
Because you already know he apparently lied about the first story. How do you know he's not lying about this?
Yeah. I mean, why would he lie about it not being real, though? In order to continue it, it would make more sense for him to just continue it.
I don't know. Unless it got more popular when Zach did the episode. I don't know. Got jealous. Who knows?
Right. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, or maybe he doesn't like Zach Bagel Bites either. And maybe he's like, gotcha, bitch.
And he's just jealous because it got more popular after the episode.
Gotcha, bitch. But if he wants to continue it, so like it doesn't make sense to me why he would come out and say, yeah, this is all bullshit.
Because for one, why would you do that to your mother?
Right. I mean, it's like that. Who was it? That TikToker, the mukbang TikToker or whatever, who gained like 300 pounds or whatever as a social experiment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it could be something like that. I mean,
and then he lost it all, but didn't. So then when he was all skinny, everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean, he was skinny, got really big, and then went back skinny. But it was a social experiment to prove something. And that's pretty much what this seems to be. So
I'm still watching Ghost Adventures.
I mean,
they're funny.
Entertainment at best. Entertainment. And that's what TV is. It's entertainment. But of course, they're not going to be like, well, yeah, we lied too. Because then what the fuck? But I know. I know.
It's like any haunted kind of ghost hunting show, though.
Sometimes. Because the one that I like, Ghost Hunters, Taps, they actually debunk. They debunk. They're like, no, nothing happened. It's not haunted. You're crazy. They actually do that. I have never seen an episode of Ghost Adventures where they said nothing is happening here. There's always something. There's always a pinch, always a poke, always a scratch, always heart pain.
Well, they've done a few where it's like nothing really happened.
But something has happened in every episode. Yeah, something has happened. In the Ghost Hunters, if there is nothing happening, the whole fucking episode's about nothing happening. Zero. But that is our stories for this week. We hope you enjoyed. If you thought the Dybbuk Box was real and didn't do your own research, either you're welcome or I'm sorry. But it is what it is. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting us and listening to us every week, twice a week. I know it's hard to keep up sometimes, but thank you. Thank you for support. And you guys can follow us at Facebook, facebook.com/haunted and homicidal. You can support us on Patreon and get access to our mini episodes, our book list, and the other things that we do for paid members. And that is patreon.com/haunted and homicidal. And then, of course, if you have any suggestions on murdery or paranormal that you would like to hear, or if you have your own stories, feel free to email us at hauntedandhomicidal@gmail.com. We are excited to read those, and then, of course, if you are a paid member and the tier that allows for your story to be read, we will do so. But again, thank you guys for listening. Okay, bye.
Bye.